Good evening. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Hope everyone's had a great week. It's been a busy week. Learn more. Let's see what's going on here. All right. We're all good. I'm just closing to see what's going on here. Okay. How are y'all? I'm just kind of let this checking on what's going on. Okay. Hope everyone's had a great week. Thanks for joining me. We're going to get right into business tonight because I'm sure some of you want to go back and watch some Olympics. I'm going to start with, hi, ECs. I'm going to start with the sale. Hi, Brandon. I'm going to pull up my little QR code here. I go back to my chat. There is a Friday the 13th sale going on now until midnight. So it's only available right now. That code right there will take you directly to the store. If you want to use my affiliate link, I will post that here, which just gives me a little commission if you place an order. But for this sale, it's a buy more, save more sale, which means if you purchase 2 items, you receive 13% off. If you purchase 4 items, you get 26% off. And if you purchase 6 items, you get up to 39% off. Unlucky for some, dangerously good for crafters. So I know it's on, I don't know if it's on specific items, but I do know that there are some wickedly good deals. If you click that, if you scan that QR code, that will take you to it, or you can click my link and then click the banner on the main page. The sale ends at midnight. So those of you who want to use that sale, please do so. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that right away. If you, like I said, any links down below are affiliate links, which just means if you place a small order using one of those links, I get a small commission from that. So I got all that housekeeping out of the way. One other housekeeping thing here. I'm going to switch to the down camera. Hi, Karen. Hi, Luann. I will take that away once I start crafting so that we can pop that up or so on. I am going to be using the incentive stamp, which is sold out, unfortunately, but I am going to use it tonight, especially the sentiment. That is my sentiment for tonight. This is every month we have a new one, and it is available while supplies last for shippable orders of $60 or more. I'm only using the sentiment tonight, so that means, if you don't get this or you did not receive this, you could use another sentiment. And also, unfortunately, the freebie for this month is already sold out, but I did want to share it because I am going to use a few of the stars tonight. We will have a new freebie on Tuesday. This is usually it's with different specific orders, but I know some of you've seen it. I just wanted to show you it and say we've had some orders. So obviously, unfortunately, we sold out of that. But I just wanted to bring that all up first and then on with the good stuff. Hi, Lou Ann. I said that. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Penny. Tonight, I am going to pull away my little QR code here now. I got to go back over here and find we can pop that back up if you need me to. But otherwise, if you go to the store, it is the banner on the front page. This is an older stamp set. It's called With Thorns, and I know it's very well loved by me. It's got cactus and succulents all over it. It's got Let's Stick Together. You're looking sharp. Don't be afraid to practice self-reflection. This stamp set is available. Hi, Jay. I am not using it tonight, though. I am only using the die, and the die is available for purchase and additional purchase. You can purchase them separately. And let's see, it goes like that. But I was looking through and I saw this is With Thorns is what it's called. There's also stamps or dies for the sentiments. But I am just going to pull this tonight. We are focusing on the paper pad of the month, which is the Retro Flowers. You saw the guys use that last night. And I am using that. I've already pulled my pattern paper. I've already done my die cutting. So once we get done with this card, we will pull in some others and just play by fine. But I already die cut out, so you didn't have to watch. And I did a sample. This is basically what we're going to make tonight. but using different colors and a different paper pad. This is the Garden Fresh paper pad, and I used the colors that matched it. We're using the Cup of Kindness, Cup of Sunshine die, and the cardstocks that match the Retro Flower paper pad, which are Ballerina, Mortar, Hot Fudge, Pumpkin, and Bubblegum. I have all of them listed in the my collection, but you can click. I just linked a couple of the main products. So let's get started. The other thing we're going to do tonight is the Milky Way embossing powder. I'm going to get this out of the way right away. I'm going to bring that up and see. It's a chunkier one. If you didn't see this and Sarah used this on Monday, this wouldn't be, and I'll show you. It's not necessarily great for sentiments per se, especially delicate sentiments. This chunky one works, but it is a little bit harder to read because of, I mean, you can see it on camera better, but in person, it is a little bit hard to read because of the white flecks, but it makes great accents. So I also am going to give you a little other crafty thing. I found these at my local Dollar General store. They were $1. They were called bathroom trays, in case you're looking for something. And I'm sorry that I looked at iPhone about how to get that to stop autofocusing. I don't know if there's a good way to do it. Anyway, I'm using these to stack when I'm using my papers. So I did want to show you that I found these this last week in the bath section. Okay, so got my little piece of paper here. This is all my scratches. That's not it. Let's see. I just got a piece of white cardstock here. And what we're going to do with this Milky Way. It is. It is real. When you see it up close like that, I mean, it's real fun. It's got these white specks in it. And then, I mean, look at it this way. So you're going to get different every time you use it because of the different specks. And I'll show you. So I already got mine die cut out tonight, but all I did was take my ink pad. And my ink pad is very well loved. You can tell I've used this since 1923. 2023. I use it all the time. So you can tell it is very well loved and they do hold up. I think it's getting dry, so I think I need to add some re-inker to it. I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper. And we're going to go ahead and put some on. So it looks a lot different when it's wet than when and of course you can see where I did not have a lot of embossing powder, but so I'm going to hold that up so you can kind of see it's all kind of chunky and grainy. It's a really fun embossing powder to have because you can do a lot. It looks a little bit like, I think Sarah was we were talking about like soil, which works really well other than it's black, but you can have black soil, right? It's not all brown. And then I like to, put the lid on that first, Candi. Okay, come on, screw that lid on. This one's called Milky Way. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat my tool up a little bit off camera here. And I'm going to go from underneath to start because it's a chunkier. And I like to do that with my chunky ones because I feel like they don't blow off as fast because sometimes you can see it melting. This makes a great night sky, a great galaxy. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. All right. That's all the heat embossing I'm going to do tonight. And then I'm going to see, look at how smooth it is. When I hold it to the side, even though it was kind of a chunky powder, it's very smooth. And then I use this to cut out my centers of my flowers. So like I said, every time you do it, it's going to be a little different because it depends on how much white specks you get versus the black specks. Yeah, they never do it than actual card up close. So anyway, I wanted to show that to you guys first right away. Let's clean this off. I've got some squeaky clean here. Which one am I using here? Bookie Blizzard. And then we're going to start making some cards. All right. So I've already cut my with thorns cut out of, I used this paper. And then I'm going to save this piece for another project. I mean, even got this, like you could really just, they match enough that you could do it backwards, but I'm going to save this for another project. And then I have a piece of the mortar cardstock. I actually have two, but I'm going to use this one because this is going to be, I cut our sentiment out and this is going to be our backdrop because you're never going to see that back there. So we're going to go ahead and put this down. And then when I put this down on top of it, you're never going to see that hole under there. And then once I put it on a card base, of course. So let's stamp out our sentiment. So my difference that I'm going to do this time then for my sample, because I wanted to make sure that this does not look like a wreath, but to me, I thought it was a fun background wreath. Using all those funky shapes. That's just a great silhouette. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stamp some Raven Detail ink onto our mortar cardstock. I'm going to stamp it down a couple times. So I hope everyone's got some fun plans for the weekend, whether it's staying in and crafting or watching movies or going out for tomorrow's special day. Right now, my plans are to get up and go out for a walk. My honey and I are going to take Fletch for a walk in the morning like we usually do on Saturdays. All right, let's get that out of the way here. So there's our sentiment. So there, I want to show you, the sentiments up close. You can read it, but it's a lot without that Milky Way. It's a little bit easier to read, if that makes sense. So, all right, we're going to put that off to the side. Let's get this put together. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this. I'm going to glue this straight down. Now, the other thing on my sample is that I also did a little ink blending around the edges just because I was playing a little bit. I felt like it kind of made the wreath a little dirty because I used the brown because I was trying to incorporate that. But this is a darker one, so I'm not going to cover that up. And then I'm just going to kind of put this on so that it's close to the edges. So that if I was going to mail this and it didn't fit, I would just cut off the edges here. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. And then this piece we are going to pop up. So let's get a card base here. Oops. Dropping stickers on the floor. Oh, I got to take my sweater off. I'm getting a little warm. I was almost going to be 50 degrees here in Iowa tomorrow. So I had to put on, springy clothes. And I still love winter because I'd rather be a little colder than hot. But since it's feeling like spring, figured it was time to wear some spring clothing. All right. Got that on my card base. See, now when I cover this up, you're never going to know there's a hole in the middle. So I'm going to grab some foam tape here. I don't remember, and I know, Penny, if you can remind me, is the buy the stamp, get the die 50% off sale still going on? I couldn't remember if it was still going on as well. I forgot to check that one. Now, what I shouldn't have done is I should not have put this one. We're going to just make it work, though. I'm going to pull that over a little bit. All right, we're going to go ahead and glue this down. Now, one thing I can tell you, when you're going to tuck underneath, you don't always necessarily want to put a foam tape all the way to the edge. I put a little bit more foam tape, but I'll make it work. All right, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put that down here right in the center. Life is tough, but so are you. So there's the basic of our card. And now I went through and I used a bunch of these cardstocks. I used all of these cardstock. Well, more was the only one I didn't use for the flowers. But I used the ballerina, the bubblegum, hot fudge, and pumpkin. And I die cut them all out. I got them here in my little tray. So that, and I used the bubblegum for the flowers. And then I used the ballerina for this flower. And then I used the pumpkin for a pocket of orange. And then I grabbed meadow and mint. Is it called mint? Thank you, Penny. Mint for the leaves. And then here's those centers. Aren't those fun? So, but we're going to add just a little bit of fun to these. So, and I probably could have done some of these off camera, but yeah, I was die cutting these out last night like crazy, trying to get done so that I had them. And then I was like, oh, I only need so many. It's like, I only need 2 of these big ones, but I cut extras in case we made more than 1 flower. And then I want 3 of these. We'll just see how this goes. And then we've got these. So I'm just going to kind of pull them out. And then I actually grabbed a stick and stamp mat. This is one of the, this is this one? This is not the one I use. This one I use for other items. I have several here. These are one of my original stick and set mats. And this one is not quite as sticky because I don't always keep my covers on them, but they're sticky enough to hold my things in place and keep my mat clean. Then I grabbed a bunch of Stellar inks. So I grabbed Piggyback and Rosy Cheeks, which I haven't decided if I'm going to use both of these. I'm going to start with this Piggyback because it's very light. And this one is not a Stellar ink, not yet anyway. I'm hoping the rest of these colors come out. And because it's so that's going to be too light. I was wondering about that. So we're going to put Piggyback away. I love it. It's just not the right color for this. Let's grab the Rosy Cheeks. Oh yeah, there we go. And I'm just adding a little bit to the center of my flowers. Still trying to figure out how to keep my desk from being too wobbly when I ink blend. So I do apologize for that if you get a little seasick. Because I am an aggressive blender. I figured out how to get my camera from moving, but I don't always get my desk to stop wiggling. What die set are these flowers from, Jill? This is from the, I didn't show it, but I talked about it. These flowers are from the Cup of Sunshine cutting die. So you can make this whole little flower arrangement with the flowers. Here's all the dies. Now I'm going to flip mine over. Now I have 2 sets here. You can see by the flowers because I got my original one. And then when there was a sale one time, I bought a second one because when dies go on sale of dies that I like, especially flowers, I like to get a second set so I can cut 2 at once instead of 1 pass. So this is the Cup of Sunshine. And then, like I said, Jill, there is a sale going on. That is the, I don't know, Penny, if you want to throw up that little QR code, it's in the QR codes plus photos or whatever. There's a Friday the 13th sale going on right now that is only good until midnight. And it's a buy more, get more type of sale. Thank you, Penny. You can also just go to the website if you want. And if you're on your phone and can't scan, and the banner's at the top of the website. And then I did not have a chance to put that link down below in my description before I went live tonight. So that is Stupid Cupid. That was a Stellar ink. That's one of his new ones. I have not really used that one before. And then I've got Check Engine, which I've decided I'm really liking for an orange. I'll go up a little higher here. And then I'm just doing the centers. And I'm not doing any of the leaves or anything shading. You could. I'm just doing a little bit on the flowers. Okay. So we're just going to let them dry back for a minute. Awesome, Jill. It's a good die set. It's one that I forget about. I don't use very much. So I used it last week and I used it this week. I know you're just coming in, but here is what some of the flowers look like when you put them together. I mean, you can put them together so many ways with the different centers and the different, this is how I was putting them together. So we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting this together. I'm going to go ahead and actually just put this all on. The centers of my flowers, I did, like I said, it's all the Milky Way embossing powder that I heat set on some scrap pieces of paper. And then I die cut them with the centers for the flowers. Now they had these little, I hope I have enough. I might have to cut one of those. These little tiny little stars is what I'm using for the center of these. And I'm thinking I might have to cut one of those out quick. I might have only cut two. I wasn't really paying that close attention. Okay, and there's no glue on that. Come on. We'll grab that glue and then stick it over the center. These little stars barely cover the center of that flower, but I thought they were really fun. And then there are two centers that look kind of like this amoeba. There's a big one and a small one, and I cut one of each to put on my flower centers for here. I mean, these flowers could also be layered. That's the nice part. You could layer them. I mean, you could layer these on here. And I believe you can even layer these on here. So you've got lots of different choices. All right, let's see. I think I need to cut one more center out. Okay, so that tiny little die. So all I'm going to do is take my die cutting machine here. And I actually have a scrap left. Try to get my die cutting down ahead of time. And I'm just going to put my scrap down over the top and run that through real quick. They are pretty cool. And like I said, they're kind of like amoebas. They're kind of like, you could use them for stars, or you could use them for fireworks. That's the other word I was looking for. And ever since I got my Empress, I've kind of been loving die cutting. So I've been trying to do more die cutting because I mean, I love to die cut, but I'm not a crank. I mean, I don't want to crank and crank and crank. That's one of the reasons why I buy more than one die set, because I don't want to just run my arm through all the time, especially if I want to make a bunch of flowers. And I always like to keep my tip with my washi tape on my pointy end. Okay. And then I'm going to double these flowers up. And you can add as many or as want. I guess my recommendation to you is to make as many flowers as you think you're going to need, and then maybe make a couple extras, because then you already have them ready to go when you're ready to design your card, and you don't have to stop and die cut out. Okay, so I'm going to leave these on here, and we're going to start building our card. Yeah, I love mine. I've only had it about a month here, and I'm just loving it. So I kind of went for it when I did this card. I do like the placement of this one. I'm going to move that down a little bit so you don't have that shine in your face. So I think I'm going to try to keep staying with that same place, but I am going to put some of the flowers out and just see what I think, because I don't want to cover up my sentiment. And then I've got these little pink ones, which, I thought is a fun kind of tie in. They're going to kind of go over in here. And then I've got these, and I tucked one underneath. And then I'm going to tuck I'm going to put the other one kind of back up here. So that's kind of where I'm going to go with my flowers. I'm going to go ahead and start attaching these first, and then I'll come back and add some greenery in there, because what I have learned over the years of taking some classes is you don't have to put glue down on the whole thing. You can always go back and put a little glue in, but I'm just going to put a little glue. And, maybe on this side where it's going to be tucked in a little bit more, grab that center piece. Let me get my glue press a little bit closer here. But I'm going to try to keep the outside edges where I want to tuck leaves in a little bit more loose so that I can do that. Now you could pop some of these up a little bit if you wanted to. I kind of liked where I had them, so I'm not going to do that. Another tip that I have seen was you could put glue down here and use your your tweezers if you wanted to. And you could dip your tweezers in the glue and then put them up. I'm going to put that right on the edge here. I kind of forget to grab my tweezers. They are a fabulous helper hand, but I forget to grab them. What's the background base panel? Okay, so this is just mortar cardstock, Sandy, with nothing. This, no, Jill, I did not. This is part of the Retro Flower paper pad, and it is the With Thorns stencil, coordinating stencil. It goes with this stamp set. This stamp set, there's these in stock. There's a bunch of dies in stock. So if you're not interested in necessarily having this stamp, I think this makes a fun wreath. And I looked at it and said to myself, and I'm just sorry, when I don't have it stamped out, it's hard for me to find it. And it cuts out that center. And then, of course, there are matching dies for the sentiment. So it makes sense to buy both. But if you're interested in just this piece, just get this piece. And that's what cut that wreath out for me, that wreath size out. I just thought it was kind of a fun. Yeah, I don't have one. So if this piece you're asking about, Sandy, that is just a piece of just mortar. But this piece here is from the paper pack. So you might see a scratch in it, but that's just because my cutting plates have some marks in them. And they need to, I don't use my spellbinders as much. Oh, we better move this guy down a little bit so that flower's not covered. All right. Yep. Okay. So all our flowers are in. So now I've got these fun, and now I'm going to make a change because I do have them, but I decided I wanted to add some of the brown hot fudge. So I cut some of these, which I think are for berries. And I thought this would be fun to tuck in as well and add that brown color. So we're just going to add a little bit here and there. And I'm going to add, I liked the mint to kind of go with the lighter colored pink flowers, the ballerina. Of course, I'm not using my tweezers, but that's okay. Put a couple of mint ones in up there. I decided I needed to have, each flower needed to have at least one foliage, at least one. So stick that guy here. And then I'm going to stick this guy in up in here. And you can stick them in as far as you want. Now this one, which is the meadow cardstock, what I did differently for this is I did some surgery on it. It is a fun shape. Is I just kind of cut them off. And I tried to cut them off up like I'll show you once I get it cut closer to that piece. So if I decided to try to use this, I could. I didn't this time, but I can always stick them in like a little scrap bin if I have extra cards. And I'm only adding a little bit of glue to the top, a little bit to the top, and then the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and start gluing it down underneath. And this is why I didn't glue all of my flower down, because I can stick it in underneath. Oops, that's not underneath. And it will, okay, I got to cut a little bit more of that stem off. That one's a little bit too stuck down. And then I could stick that down underneath. And that extra greenery just makes a difference, I think, when you add 2 sets of green for your greenery, if you can do that. And these kind of matched really well with the tone of the color palette. They weren't super dark green. So I'm just going to stick that in there. And this is just for fun. I mean, just add it until you're happy. That's all that matters. Till you are happy with how it looks. If you're not sure, step away and come back, and you can always add more later. Okay, let's see. I want to add, got a little bit more. I'm going to cut another one of these off. And that's why if you cut a little bit more, Jill, it could possibly be, well, it says, I don't know if it's an odd number or an even number. I will be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure if it was only on the items that was in the collection when you clicked on it. Because I know when I looked at the, when I have my little sheet here, it's like 2, 4, 6. So I don't know how that, I mean, I just have the 2, the 4, and the 6 is all I have on here. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Thank you, Jill. So it could be, I mean, Jill, just for fun, can you add another item in and just see what happens? I mean, you can always take that item out, see if it makes a difference. I'm gonna be honest with you, I experimented a little bit, but as I didn't look at it I just did not have a whole lot of time before I left from work today, so I wasn't able to play with that sale a lot. Unfortunately, I apologize. It was right towards the end of the day from work, and I saw the sale, and that's about as far as I got. And got the information so that I could tell you guys the sale. And then I came home and took the dog for a walk and had dinner and all that stuff. So it is Fabulous Floors is another one. Okay. If you put both the stamp and the die and the stamp is off. I'm not 100% sure why. I don't know, Penny. I don't know if there's something you can help me with that on that. Because I'm not sure. Is it missing something? I'm not sure if you can look into that or not. All right, these are going to be things that I'm just going to add in because like I said, I added these at the last second. Oh, and I have another thing that's brown. These things right here are the coffee cup handles. These are for the coffee cup. Let me grab that stamp set. This is the little curly Q. There's a little curly Q for the coffee cups, and then there's 2 straight lines that you can put on the cup. But I thought they would be fun as little like vines kind of sticking out, you know, whether you wanted to do one side or the other. So I grabbed those and cut a few of those. Didn't do it in the new item I added now doesn't. I am apologizing. I'm not 100% sure there, Jill. Not sure what's going on there with that. I'll have to maybe peek at it. Maybe it was only on 6 items then. And don't quote me on that. You like these? You like the little, what do you mean? The little corkscrewy things? I'm going to put some glue in because I'm just going to kind of peek them in. I think they're just a fun little extra something. And if I tick them down underneath, you know, and I might have it go up and over a little bit, it looks a little, and it just added some extra color, I thought. We had all this light color, and I needed a little bit of that brown. Now, something else that you could do is you could stamp your sentiment in a brown, and that would tie in a little bit. But since I use that Milky Way, I was okay with my brown sentiment. Stick one of these in here. That's going to cover up that floral a little bit. Let's stick it in here. Sometimes I don't know who I saw. Thanks, Jill. Like some of the things I saw, I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was maybe Nicole Spore, who said she likes a chunky wreath. I think it was her. I don't know for sure. And I agree, like a full wreath, putting a lot of die cuts in. I don't make a ton of wreaths, but I think they're fun and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this one here, right here. All right. And then I think we need one more of these little curly cues, at least one, maybe 2. So that they look, we'll do 3 total. And then we will pretty much be done with this card already. Let's stick this curlicue in like this. And then this curlicue we're going to stick in with the other point out. Let's stick this guy in right here. Kind of stick him in and over a little bit. Okay, so that is the base of my card. Now we got to have a little bling. I mean, I still have some extra little pieces here, but I'll save those for another day. And of course, we haven't added any of all that bling stars, which I do want to add. I didn't add these to my original sample, but if you were getting these, let's see, what's a good color? I think we're going to do this yellow. And I'm just going to add a few around. I'm going to grab just 3 little stars here. We'll put them here and here and here. Just 3 little stars because that kind of still blends in with our color palette. So at least, you know, those enamel stars, if you were able to get one in this week, that's fun. And then I'm going to grab, these are some hematite crystals. Any crystals will work. I just happen to have some black ones here. Okay. Thank you, Penny. I'm not 100% sure either. Thanks for checking on it. I don't know. Penny knows more about it than I do, to be honest with you sometimes. Because a lot of times it's happening while I'm live. So I'm not in there looking at it. I am just going to add 3 of these to each one of these centers of the flowers. And they add some much neat. Oh, and I forgot one other thing that I'm going to put on here. You guys know me. What's my favorite thing in the world? We're going to add that too. And I am going to add a couple of other gems. I'm going to put 1, 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oops, need a little more glue right there. 9. We got to have an odd number because it just looks better. I could do a different color, but why? Why not? Just add the same ones. We got to add some chroma mist, right? You got to add that last little bit of shimmer. Okay. I know. I believe they're working on getting some more in. I got the bundle a long time ago too. And to be honest with you, I've only ever replaced one. And it's still not, the original's not sold out. I just bought, like, I think I bought an extra one of the red shift and an extra one of the crystals, but these are still my originals. And I use them a lot. Okay, so I'm going to grab, I didn't clean it. We got to clean our stamp. I'm going to show you a little trick that I have learned over the years. Squeaky clean, squeaky clean. Oh, squeaky clean was stuck. When I'm doing just one stamp, I like to just spray my towel instead of spray my whole thing. Okay. Clean that really well because we're on white paper. Let's check it. Okay, it's clean. So now, ignore my little dirty towel. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to stick this down right over the top and I'm going to spritz. Now we're going to move some stuff out of the way here. I'm going to grab my box. Get my sweater out of the way. The last few lives, I have not grabbed my box and I have made a mess. So that sentiment right there is going to protect my sentiment from getting spritz. And I'm just going to spritz my ornament gold over the top, take my sentiment off, and then I will hold this up and you will see all the shimmer and shine. Look at that. There's just a little bit of shimmer and shine. And of course, my sentiment is not shimmering and shine. You could do the shine on the sentiment as well, but, and then this just wipes off. Okay. Wipe that off, stick it there because we'll need that again. So here are 2 versions of the same card, just using different colors and a different pattern paper. But other than that, I tried to use the same thing. And of course, I don't have the stars on this one. So now we still have 20 minutes, so we're going to keep going. Tomorrow, I will say my last of my the countdown Valentine countdown box is going to be in the morning. If you needed one more card, I did not make Valentine cards. All my cards from the Valentine countdown box were love, thinking of you type cards that you could send to anyone you care about. So if you were wondering about that, there were just a couple of those left. And then the spring countdown box has started to ship. I did include that in the description box below in case you wanted to order that so that you could get it and play along with me as I do videos for that. We are going to grab another operationrighthome.org sketch. I was just playing around, just kind of flipping. I have a bunch of them. I'm going to use this one right here. It's a sketch 254. Oh, that's no problem. You can say hi. Tiny treasure. Is that Jill? You have to forgive me. I'm still, yep, it is Jill. Ha! I was right. The other Jill. So I'm going to use this one as my card panel. And I love it because this has the different measurements on it. So if you look, there's 2 patterns here. I have all the papers pulled, but I haven't done that. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Oh, thanks, Jill. You can really use pretty much anything. I tried to limit the, you can use the designs and do that. And use your stash, of course, too, if you didn't get the box. The only one that would be hard would maybe be the Post-it note one. But you could just go find some Post-it notes, I guess, if you had some shaped Post-it notes, or just use hearts. These sketches, Jill, from operationrighthome.org. She kept the website up, but she doesn't put any more out. But you can still have them. I decided to print them a few years ago, 2 to a page, and I put them in this little binder. So they're all online. OWH is what I call them, but it's operationrighthome.org. So we're going to go ahead, and I want to use this piece, and I think we're going to pull in the orange and maybe this piece. Okay. So I do have my sketch off to the side for measurements. I can pull it on, I guess, if you guys want me to keep it on camera. I'll pull it out of my little binder. These are just 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper I've had from a long time ago when I used to do recipe cards. I got them from an office supply store, and I can fold it in half and have 2 per page. I had to figure out how to make sure when I printed them, I had them in the right, because I never have time to go to my computer and find a sketch. So I just thought this was the easiest way for me to do this. So the back problem is a regular card base. We might use white for that. I'm not grabbed that yet. I'm going to use this for this layer here. So it's 5 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut the 5 first. I'm sorry, measuring once, cutting twice. And then 3 1/4. Now this isn't directional, so I don't have to worry too much about, making sure. If you had directional paper, you would want to make sure that you were cutting it so the pattern worked. So that's our main bottom there. So let's put that here. And then we need a piece back here. We need some circles, and then we need a small one. So for the circle, this is the one I want. So I need a 3-inch circle and a 2.5-inch circle. I'm going to go ahead and pull some mortar cardstock, I think, in. We need a grounding color, and that's what this white layer is going to be. And then I have just some circle dies. These are Hero Arts Infinity dies, and I'm pretty sure it was these 2. You really could use any. Yeah, it's these 2 that I have. So I want this one to be the big one. So I'm just going to use my thing. Ornamental gold for the win, always. Ornamental gold is the way to add so much shimmer and shine. And actually, I think one other thing we're going to add to the front of this, which I did not include, I just decided. All right, I'm going to move my sketches out of the way here. You could use anything. You do not have to use these circle dies. I just think it's, like on a live like this, I'm going to try to pull in sketches when we're not running out of time, but when we have more time after our main card trick. I do too. Oh, yes. Yep, Jill. And that's the best part. Yeah, she has them all collected. There's a few websites out there that still have them, that you can download them. Over the years, I've had a bunch. Oh, why did I put that away? All right, which one was that one? Wasn't even paying attention. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to go down one more size because I want that brightness. And then I think to tone this down, we're going to do the white. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do the bubble gum. Let's check it out. Let's see. Here, I'll show you. Here's a good way to check. I've got the bubble gum and the ballerina. Do I have a piece of bubble gum? Sure. Okay. Here's the ballerina cardstock. Just see how light it is compared to that. So that's probably closer to the bubble gum. So here is a piece of bubble gum. So I'm going to use the bubble gum. This is a little shade darker, like a dusty rosy, but I think it's because of the print. But I think I like the bubble gum. So, I'm throwing cardstock on the floor. Hopefully Puppy doesn't come up here while we're still alive because he will try to eat it. I better pick that up. So yeah, I'm going to do the bubble gum here. I am losing everything, you guys. Where's my cutting plate? I have one cutting plate, but I need the other one. I lost them last week too, didn't I? All right, where's the cutting plate? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Night, Sandy. Did I get my inspiration box yet? For this month, I did. Yes, I know I did. It is what I will be using it the last week of the month. I plan on making cards with it this weekend, though. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. It's a little busy looking, but we're going to make it work because we're going to tone it down with some the darker colors behind. Okay. And I'm thinking we might even I was thinking about originally using this polka dot on here too. And I might still do that. But I'm thinking it's almost too busy to put this on the polka dot paper. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is I'm going to pull in. Where's my cover? I usually put my cardstock away right away. Where's the cover? Cover. Actually, what does this look like underneath? Nope, I don't like that. I need some plain cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and grab this brown Candi. Sandy said, was that Sandy here? Is she the one who created those sketches? The sketches I'm using? No. If that was a different Sandy, this is I don't know that Sandy. I know that this Sandy is on our design team. And I've known Sandy for as long as I've known Brutus Monroe, actually. But no, that is a different Sandy. I am not 100% sure. I'd have to look it up. It's been a long time since I've been on their website. I know Christopher knows the Sandy that created these sketches. Or, I mean, if he knew of her. I don't know if he knew her, but I know he knew of her. Okay, so there's this and that. I am thinking instead of adding an extra color, I'm just going to cut that brown down to be this piece here. That was a great question. And this is that brown isn't a color everyone uses very often. This is the hot fudge. So I need 1 2 3/4. So we're going to cut this down. So this is 1.5. So since I need an inch, I'm just going to cut it over, move it over an inch. And then I'm going to 1 inch by 2 3/4. Okay, so we can get this out of the way here. So here is our basis of our card. And then this piece goes in here too. And then we have to cut this off. So it's going to be just like that. Now we need a sentiment. I don't know if we need a ton of extra. So I think I'm just going to grab a sentiment, and we need a sentiment that's going to fit in here. So let's grab the inspiration box, because this one obviously isn't going to fit. Now you could totally stamp this in like this, modify this sketch, and you'd have a great card as well. But I would like to I like to use this one. I want to use this one as is. I really kind of like it. So I'm going to grab the inspiration box stamp set, Rooted in Kindness, and see what we have. Always rooting for you. I think that's what we're going to use. And then we may have to stamp and cut something out really quick. I like them round too. And then we're going to amp this up just a little bit. We're going to add this like this. And then I think I'm going to go a little crazy here. Let's look at this. I might go over a little bit, but because I have to fussy cut. But I'm thinking that we're going to use this stamp. We're not going to do any coloring, but you see how I'm going to put the stamp set right there. What I'm going to do, and I haven't had time to do any SVGs with this yet. That's my goal tomorrow. Is we're going to grab our Misty, do a little bit more heat embossing. Let's grab this. We'll put this in. We're going to put this here. And then I'm going to grab this piece and just throw it up in here for now. I don't need to cut it down. And I'll put this one here because we're going to fussy cut that out very quickly. It won't take us long. All right. Stick those back in the corner. Get our anti-static powder tool. I could stamp on that if I wanted to. Like, yep, you could do it that way. That would work too. But I really kind of like it like this. I'll show you what I mean, because I'm going to, instead of stamping on the pink, we're going to add a little bit more fun color. I'm going to do some anti-static powder tool. Hopefully my ink pad is going to work for me. And not that one. We're going to grab our Gilded, one of my favorites of all times. And we're going to add a little sparkle. Oh, please. If I moved that, I'll redo it. But I want to stamp it down one more time because these are brand new stamps to me. As in, I have not inked them up yet. Let's see if I got it all. Oh, yep, it moved. Okay. Stupid stamp. Anti-static powder tool, right? It's okay if we go over just a few minutes, right? I'm liking the brown too. I think it's a fun, it's a neutral that I don't think we use that often. And I'll be honest with you, one of my favorite Simon Hurley inks is the Weepin' Willow, which is a brown. And then we'll pull these out. Get that out of the way here. We'll heat set them both here. Let's check this out. I have not heat embossed on this yet. I cannot wait to see this. Oh my gosh, its color is going to be beautiful on this hot fudge. And then, you could find some gold embellishments if you really wanted to. I better not put that on my computer because my luck, I will spill it. My light is not on my screen there. Okay. So, hi, Lynn. You're fine. I'm kind of going to go over just a little bit here because I started adding a second card. We really decorated card number 1. I probably should have stamped it a second time. It'll be fine. And we're going to do a little fussy cutting. Okay. Look at that gilded on that hot fudge. So pretty. So this will be fine like this. We're going to let that cool down a minute. Let's get this all put together. I'm using an number 25 of the OWH sketch, which is operationrighthome.org. We're going to stick, because I'm going pretty close to the sketch this time. I'm going to center that on here. And then we're going to, you could obviously pop this up a little bit if you wanted to. I'm going to center that. It's not quite centered, so we're going to set it off. I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks good to me. And we'll cut that back off. Thank you. Yes, Lynn, this background is it's part of our Retro Flower Paper Pot of the Month, which is one of our subscriptions. It's only available for this month. I mean, you can do a one-off when you go to subscriptions, and you can buy it one-off. But otherwise, it's only available while its supplies last or during the month. So you're guaranteed to definitely get it if you sign up for the subscription. And I think is it $10, and that includes the shipping, I believe, for the paper pot of the month. And each month they just keep getting better and better and better. So that sketch looks like it's just set right like that. And of course, I didn't line that up perfectly. Let's see if I set this down. Okay. Let me get it back. Peel it up just gentle. Get it to the edge. There we go. We don't want any of that pink showing out. So that is great right there. I mean, you could do so much. And then we're going to quick fussy cut this if I can find my scissors. Let's grab a different one. So I like to have smaller pieces when I fussy cut. The rubber, you know what? And yes, Jill, you should be able to, if you look here. Sorry, I'm going to talk to you about that. I got 4 I should have said that. I have 4 to a page. I don't remember how I did it. And then I just folded it in half so that I could put them in my little, because I had these binders. I mean, you could do them 4 to a page and then you just have your one. I don't know if I put that one in right. It is a good deal there, Lynn. I love this month's stamp of the month. I can't wait. I think I'm using that next week along with the stencil of the month. It's really pretty. I do have a card here I can show you guys here before we leave where I use this paper pad and the stamp of the month. It's on the website, but I'm not going to go crazy with getting perfect with these leaves because they're kind of jagged. And I think that's just kind of fun of the cutting. So I'm just kind of going in and out and in and out. I'm not worrying about it being too jaggedy because I'm going to try to go up a little closer. I don't know if you can see that because it's such a dark cardstock. It's shadowy, but I'm just kind of going in and out just to play with that leaf design. Oops, I got a little close on that one. That's okay. And then when I get down to the center here, I just kind of and try not to turn it much. Trim off a little off the bottom. Okay. And then we have this little, I'm rooting for you. And we're going to pop that up, of course. And let me grab some foam tape. My never-ending roll of foam tape that I'm trying to use up because I don't know how long I've had it, but it's been around a while. So I want to shout out because I know she's probably may watch the replay. My mama's usually here. You guys all know that. But tonight she went to, she's probably home by now, but hasn't had a chance to log in. She got to go watch my niece in her play this weekend. That was going to be earlier, and she was going to make it home kind of towards the end tonight of my live. So we'll put that on here, and then we need some bling, but I'm not sure I have any gold bling handy. Let's see, what do I got? I found some gold sequins here. So we'll just grab a couple. These are from Studio Katya. I don't even know if they're available. Somebody gave them to me as a free gift with a purchase. Oh, I was also going to spray this. I'm going to spray some ornamental gold. Now I'm going to switch this to my other camera quick. Hi, Shannon. How are you? So this is how I like to use my ornamental gold. I like to spritz it in the air like perfume and squirt my, and go like that. And just squirt it like this. And that gives it just a little bit over the top and let it lay down on it. It's hard for me to do that on camera, but then it gives it just that little bit of shimmer shine. That's my favorite way to use it. It was. She was excited to be able to. She had told me, I'm sorry I won't be there. And I'm like, at the beginning. So look at that shimmer shine. That's my favorite way to add that. Okay, let's add a few gold gem or gold sequins. 1, 2, 3, and maybe we'll put 4 and 5. We'll do 2. We'll just do that. I don't overthink my gems. These are confetti, it looks like. So they've got the little ridges. There's no holes in the middle. We'll put the big one there. And come on. There we go. And we'll put a big one and a little one up there. I must need to clean off my tip. We'll grab one more big one. Okay. There we go, you guys. So this was my sample card and that I made ahead of time, but this was the card we made first using the paper pad of the month and the Cup of Sunshine dies. And this is the incentive stamp that is not available anymore. And then all the pattern papers that match the cardstock. And then this one was just a sketch and just kind of another fun little card, kind of simple. Jill, and test it. Spray, delay, and walk away. Exactly. Test it with some of the chroma mists because some of the chroma mists are thicker than others. So maybe test it in like in a box. Thank you. In a box like this. Test it first to see because I do know sometimes we have thicker ones and sometimes they're more of a misty kind. It just depends on the mists. You know, it just depends. Now, I wanted to remind you that there's the Friday the 13th sale going on right now. Buy more, save more. And I did link. Yep. Thank you, Penny. There's that. Or you can go in through the link at the bottom of the screen. Or here's my affiliate link if you want to use that, which just gives me a small commission. You can click on the banner on the website then for that sale. That ends at midnight tonight. And there also is buy the stamp, get the die half off sale for those items. But, oh, and Jill, that when you were talking about if you did not check out, you might have had to go to the buy the die. Let me get that link because you might have had to buy it directly. I don't know if buy the die. Let me get the link for you. Because I know Christopher said something about it wasn't just anywhere. If you went through the link on the or where the collection was for that. Let me grab it here. Because that promo will only work. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yes, my affiliate link is in the description as well. There is the buy the die stamp, get the coordinating die off. That if you want to use that to put that in your carts, I believe you need to use through that collection to get this die for those stamps that work because they're only the ones that are in that collection. It's not just every die on the website. I apologize. I should have mentioned that right away. So that might have been why, Jill, if you were getting the buy the one, get the other one half off. But otherwise, some items, they will all come off of what qualifies. Okay. But yes, my affiliate link is in the description and you can find me at Sugar Cards and Candi. That's my YouTube channel and my Instagram. And I do have links there if you want. You're always welcome to reach out. I can always send you a link if you wanted. I appreciate all that. You guys have a great, happy Valentine's Day. Oh, do you want to see the cards I made before I go? We're only over a little bit. You want to see all my Valentine's Day cards? The videos are live. Let me grab them. Okay, the only thing I don't have is my is my treat bag because I took it apart. But I can show you my cards quick. I don't have all days in order, but I have all of the different cards sitting right here. Let's see if I can get most of them on camera. Oh, that's tomorrow's card. Oops, you saw that one. This one was one of my favorites. This was this was from the shaker mix the day before. But here are the cards that we made. Oh, that's not all of them. Where's the rest of them? I did not grab them all. Okay, I'm not sure where the rest of them went to. I'm sorry. They're in the box. They're in the box. So all of them are live except for tomorrow's. And then I did create a little mini treat bag, and this was the tag I put on it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where's the rest of my cards? Here they are. I'm going to have to start piling them on top. 10, 11. This is a fun fold from day 2, I believe. And then, of course, check that one out tomorrow. That was enough of a sneak peek for tomorrow. Thank you. It was really fun. The mouse one is one of my favorites too. It was a stencil and I did some fallen snow over it. So thank you guys so much. Yes, Lynn, that's Theodore. There are so many fun Theodore stamps. Wait till next month. He's even more adorable. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Have a happy Valentine's Day, a great Friday the 13th. I know my daughter's favorite day of the year is always a Friday the 13th. So shout out to Haley. Hope she's watching our Jason movies tonight. Have a great evening, and I will see y'all next week.